guys, welcome to Empower Her. And what we're looking at today is really understanding how you can get, your mindset to that billionaire. Did I say millionaire? Billionaire mindset, because that's the way that we're going with numbers. So welcome. All of you are here for different reasons, but just make sure if you can't hear me properly, if there's anything wrong, please let us know in the chat. Try to stay on mute, but if you've got something to say, please come off mute and just take yourself off mute. But if you're not speaking, just keep the mic off. It just means that the background noise doesn't come in. I don't know why this is. Can you also turn off your video so everyone can focus on the presentation? I prefer you have your videos on, but not everybody likes to have their video on, or you're doing something. But even if you've got your video off, try to be present in this session and get what you need from it. Any trouble you're having at all, let us know in the chat, any questions you've got, and just make sure you've got pen and paper to jot down your, tips, hints, what you want to take forward in your business. Or if you use electronic devices like your phones or project management tools, make sure you have them ready. There's a lot of questions I'm going to ask. Some of you might feel like I've got this. Some of you might feel like I need to explore this. So it's important that you're writing down what it is that you want to reflect and work on. So when you're attending these masterclasses, you've got some type of structure when you come off of the session. So you're not just feeling great, you can actually implement them into life and actually work towards being where you want to be. So who am I? Some of you know me on here, some of you don't. My name is Natalia Nicholson, and I created the community called Women in Digital Business. I have literally failed my way to success over the last 20 years. First launching my first e-commerce business, selling multicultural books in 2003. Gosh, wow. And being in multiple businesses, made multiple businesses, sold multiple businesses, failed at multiple businesses, been bankrupt before. I've got a long history. I've got my own e-commerce site. I coach, teach, train and consult for the likes of Google, local government, in really helping businesses be able to digitalize and understand what digitalization means for that business. Is it digital marketing? Is it social media? Is it working with small businesses of women, which is what I do now, of really understanding, how do we give you more freedom, flexibility and time to deal with children and other things while working and getting that income in. So I've been around the block for a long time. And the last few years, I decided to build my own community, simply because I've been failing my way to success for so long. And when you come from a background where, no one in your family immediate circle is an entrepreneur, owns their own business, or really built up something of where you want to take it, you don't have that advice and that support system. If you was brought up in a family that made shoes, you would know how to make shoes. If you was JP Morgan's children, I could bet your bottom dollar you would know, how to trade, how to buy stocks and shares. So appreciate, for many of us, we've got that grit, we've got that tenacity, we've got that we will do whatever it takes, especially as underrepresented women. But sometimes what we don't have is the knowledge of saying this is the way that you need to go about it. And I made so many mistakes doing that. I decided to start Women in Digital Business specifically for underrepresented women that have got that grit, tenacity, that want. But there's things within our blueprint, whether it's our confidence, whether it is the mindset of not feeling like we deserve that amount of money, not knowing how to actually set businesses up and digital strategies. And through lack of knowledge, our journey becomes a lot harder, when actually we are starting businesses at the most rate of any other group worldwide. That is something to really scream at the top of the roofs. So today we're going to be looking at the billionaire mindset. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at what I've called the 5M model that I've created. So we're going to look at mindset. We're going to look at money. We're going to look at management. We're going to look at targeting your customer and marketing. And we're just going to look at mastery, like how do we bring that all together? Because the things I'm going to be speaking about today, these core disciplines, they're always going to be work in progress. I find working on myself work in progress. Like, I can honestly say at the age of 40 now, like, I like myself. Well, I'm 45 actually, but from the age of 40, it was like Mary J. Blige. I finally like myself. I like me. I like who I stand for. It's taken a while to get there. And that journey is continuous. It keeps growing. So you've got to make sure that you're always nurturing it. You're always nurturing yourself, and you're always in a growth and learning mindset, because sky's the limit. So that's the structure of today's session of how we're going to follow. So the first thing I want to look at is mindset. So all things are created twice. So it's really important that when you're setting your online business up, you're within your business and your own personal space and mind, you do need to be open-minded. Okay, I think sometimes before going into business, you're well, it was like this for me. I can't speak for anybody else, and please do put any of your thoughts and feelings to what I'm saying in the chat, or jot them down and we can definitely discuss them afterwards. Don't forget, when you're using the chat, the other people on this session can see it and they'll also respond to it. So make sure you use the chat function. It's really nice for the other women on the call to hear from you if you're responding to something I'm saying, or you have a viewpoint and somebody else might have a viewpoint. Sharing is caring. So all things are created twice. They're created once in your mind, and then they're created again when they play out. You know, even when we look at Shakespeare, that is how Shakespeare created his best stories. What was happening on the screen of his mind is what then came to happen as a reality. And it's an absolute fact. For those of you that, you know, I'm very close to the Bible. When you look at Proverbs, it's loads of motivational tips in there. And everything is created in your mind once, and then it gets created again when it actually happens. But you've got to believe it in your mind. And you can't just say, visualization, I'm going to go to the supermarket today and a car parking space is going to be ready for me. It's not as simple as that. It's something that has to be in the core of you. Okay. It's something that when you're dreaming, thinking, goals start off as dreams. So when it's in your head, the realer it is the more it plays out and comes out into reality. So I just want you to embrace that. And whatever you have to do to nurture that, start doing it. Whether it's getting up in the morning, one of the books that changed my life around mindset and really being able to think about what do I want, goal setting, journaling, it's called Miracle Morning. Princess, if you can, to look it up on Amazon and put the link in the chat. And those of you that have read it, because I'm sure some of you would, please do put your comments in the chat of how you found it. Miracle Morning is an amazing book of just taking an hour out of your day before it starts to really, you know, think about, you know, your mantras, to be able to meditate and have peace with yourself. Just be in a place where you can allow yourself to be open-minded and create the things in your mind so they play out in reality. Okay? Being busy is not a badge of honor. Took me a while to learn this. So as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's like if someone points something out to you and you might know it or it's familiar territory, it's like, I'm busy, I haven't got around to doing that. You know, life is just really stressful, it's really busy right now. And it's not to be worn as a badge of honor, because if you're busy doing things that aren't bringing you the things that you want, you need to look at what's making you busy and what you're doing. Okay, so today's session is for you to be writing down things like that does apply me. Look at those things and what could you do to make them better? Is it a book? Is it a program? Is it joining a community? Is it, you know, listening to a particular podcast? Is it creating some type of group to yourself? Is it going networking more? But mindset is really, really key. Okay, you cannot underestimate the power of the mind. As you're sitting here listening to me, your self-talks, it's going. Yeah, the screen of your mind, yourself talking to yourself, you can see things. When you're on the train, when you're about to go to bed, when you're washing up, in between breaks, when you're doing something at work, you have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. What are you thinking about? And most people, unfortunately, do think about the past. They spend 90% of their time thinking about the past. Last week, our masterclass covered goal setting and how not to get into the procrastination, the failure cycle, and procrastinate and get things done. So if you didn't see that, make sure you go onto YouTube and watch it, because it's going to be really helpful for you to put some type of action plan for yourself. And I haven't given you an action plan because that's the type of thing that I would do when I'm coaching or mentoring one-to-one. You know your mind. Have faith and trust in yourself that you know your mind, and start to understand the power of your mind. Your mind will either drive you forward or it's going to keep you where you are. Okay, so start allowing your mind to open up and drive you forward. So think about mindset. With mindset, if there was any tool that I could give you to help you, you know, look at your mindset and make changes or adapt the things that you would like to, only you know your mind, it would be commitment. So I want you to think about something. If you sign up for a new mobile phone, you get an upgrade. You are now locked into a contract. You have to pay a certain amount every month for your phone package and the actual handset. And you enter into that agreement and you know that you can't miss a payment. Same with car payments, even more importantly, so for your mortgage, which is the roof over your head. When it comes to financial agreements or agreements with a government body, we tend to take them really I say it like we tend to, like you shouldn't, but we take them seriously. We know we're committed and we make sure we hold to our end of any terms or conditions, because we don't want to default in any way, because that's not going to be good for us. we need to do the same things with ourselves. We need to have enough respect for ourselves and what we want to achieve to be committed to them. Okay. And to do that, you've got to be committed to change. You've got to make that breakthrough. Okay. So when it comes to commitment, people tend to cop out, drop out, hold out, sell out, or just go all out. And I want you to go all out. This is not something you can do half-heartedly. Getting the mindset straight and thinking, I'm going for this. This is where I'm at. These are the goals that I want to reach. This is the online business I've got. This is where I want to be. It's time to get serious. How do I get there? And you need to be able to make that commitment, and you need to be able to go all out. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at the behavior of committed people. And that's something we're going to do next. I want you to start thinking about, okay, what do committed people look like? So they make commitments. And some of you might be thinking, duh, we're talking about commitments. Why wouldn't you make them? Because we make commitments to ourselves all the time. I'm going to give you an example of areas that I struggle in. Weight loss. So I will be committed to going to the gym 3-4 times a week, to only eating a certain amount of calories. And I'll do that for all of 2-3 weeks. And then I might have a bad day and I feel like I need to treat myself to some type of sweet treat from Marks and Spencer's or Waitrose. Then I fancy a takeout. And the next day I just come off track and now I'm no longer committed. So we break our own commitments very easily. But if I had to make a mortgage payment, do you think if I didn't feel like it, I wouldn't make it? No. So you have to be able to say, I'm going to commit to this, and you can't then back out when the going gets tough. If you're going to commit to something, you have to be able to commit to it. And you have to ask yourself at this point, is this what you want? Because starting your own business and creating generational wealth is not going to be an easy journey. And we're going to cover that, the cracks in the journey. So you've got to prepare yourself for all the pitfalls that might come. And we're going to talk about that today, the red flags. So ask yourself, start having honest conversations. Nobody knows you better than you. You have to believe you can achieve something. And this is something I've battled with for so long. Like from the age of 14, I literally wanted to be Alexis Carrington and just be a boss bitch. That has definitely been one of the things that I've always wanted to be bigger and do more in life from a very, very young age. And I've always believed that I'll achieve it. But have I always thought, do I deserve it? Do people like me get to these places? How do I do it when times are getting hard and I've got no direction? I don't know where to go next. How am I going to get there? And that's when those doubts start coming in. You have to believe to achieve. And that's why these things are constant. You can't come on this masterclass. You can't just read a book and think that, oh, my mindset's better. You know, I've got the billionaire mindset. I'm going to go for it. It's constant work because so many things can happen. Pest factors. I call pest factors political, economical, social, and technological. Any of those can come into play at any given time and shift you and shift that belief. So you got to figure out every day. And that's why Miracle Morning's so great, because journaling helps so much. My goal is I'm going to make £10,000 a month. My goal is I'm going to make this and have enough time for my children, be able to spend time with my mum. It's not all about money. Billionaire mindset, it's a mindset. Wealth is a mindset. It's not about the physical money. Money doesn't actually have any value. None. It's paper. Okay, when we first used to start trading, we used salt. After salt, it was gold and silver. And we've evolved until it became a piece of paper that's just got a promise on it. And your brain needs to understand that. Money is the metric that measures the success of a business. A business is not successful until it's made profit. Just like if you was growing wheat in your garden and it didn't rain and you had a drought, you would make no wheat. But you don't put the same value or the same feeling about money as you would on the wheat. It's a commodity, and I want you to get to try and understand that. Your success in your business is validated by how much profit and money that you bring in. So if you can't even believe or articulate or think about figures that big, how do you expect it to happen? Okay, so, you know, people who have commitment, they verbalize their commitment, they talk about their commitment, they invest in their commitments. Like some people say, I'm never spending my own money on a business idea, but you spend somebody else's. And we've all seen the Dragon's Den where that instantly becomes really concerning to them because they're thinking, so it's okay to waste my money, but not yours. But in business, we do know that the best money to invest is not your own money. But that doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't not be investing it because you don't think it would work. You shouldn't not be investing your own money, maybe because you're investing it somewhere else. Okay, people that are committed, they speak in I can, I will. You know, many of us, language is a problem. If language is a problem, guys, you've got to start working on it. It's still a problem for me. Every now and again, I'm like, what do you mean hope? No, it will. And you've got to have that type of confidence that goes with it. So speaking, I can, I will, and be passionate. So these are things that, small things that I know you all know. So don't think you've come here and it's like, oh, heard it all before. You may have heard it all before, but I want to know, how are you going to overcome it? We're speaking about it. You can see the sense and logic it makes. What are you going to do to be able to overcome it? And the list that I just went through, maybe you need more work in some areas than others. Okay. Next, I want you to think about, are you fulfilled? You should all have notepads here. I want you to answer the question, are you fulfilled? And for those of you that are running your own business, starting your own business, got a side hustle, scaling your own business, and Women in Digital Business is about business, we've got all different areas of our life. You've got your career, your business. You've got family, social, physical, financial, spiritual, and mental. I want you to take a screenshot of this page, or I want you to write down these headings. And I want you to ask, like, where would you like to be fulfilled in all these areas? Okay, so fulfillment is the completion or achievement of a desire. And I want you to think about this, because then it's easier when you've got an order to follow to know that, okay, this is what I'm working for. You can't do everything at the same time. So if you are leading with your business, what comes once you've reached that target? Maybe it's family, because now you've got flexibility and you can spend more time with them. And now that you've got more time, you can socialize with your friends more. Now that you have more time, you can go and do exercise and get more physical. You know, most people don't become billionaires, by the way, through business and career. They become millionaires through financial. So the money that you make from your business and your career is, how do you invest that back into stocks and shares, into property? Because that's actually what provides wealth. So understand, this journey is a long journey. You've got to get a business first. You've got to get the cash flow going, and then the profit that you make from that business is what you invest. And actually, that's what gives you financial freedom. Start thinking bigger, ladies. Start thinking in terms of bigger numbers in all areas. Because otherwise, your mind stays in a small mindset where you can't conceptualize where it is that you want to be. And that's the billionaire. Okay, that's generational wealth. You want to be in a position where your children's children are okay. Maybe it's just that you're okay. It's whatever your goal is, to be fair. So life's journey is a continuous, smooth, level journey. Is that realistic? No, it's not, because life isn't smooth. So the best thing you can do is prepare your mind in terms of the mindset that it's not going to be smooth. So that way, when bad things happen, you don't think, oh, it's because I don't deserve it. This doesn't happen to people like me. The amount of times I've heard myself say that is astounding. So there is no continuous smooth level from start to finish. There isn't. We can't be successful in the number 2, which is actually making our goals a reality, unless we avoid the pitfalls. So life's journey is going to consist of pitfalls, which is like below ground, which we want to avoid. So the obstacles that bring you into a pothole, that's the word I'm going to use. The pitfall, pothole, that bring you into pothole, that make it difficult for you to get up, that makes you not go on your journey in life. So those obstacles above ground, which we want to amount, we can call these challenges, which we want to meet. Okay, so some of the dip holes, the potholes in the road, you need to look at them as if they're just challenges. And how do I overcome them challenges? Look at them like they're red flags. How do I overcome them red flags? Or otherwise, life's journey of it not being smooth, it's always going to hold you back, because you'll feel like the pitfalls are personal to you and they're just stopping you from being where you want to be. And it becomes tiring. And especially as an underrepresented person, you do feel like that. When you don't see yourself represented around you, and you're constantly a minority in your world, or you don't see people get to the level that you want, when you do get the potholes and you do fall into these gaps, you feel really helpless. You feel like, why can't I just have the same, play on the same playing field as everybody else? And yes, the world is getting better and we're working towards that, but it doesn't take that feeling away. So what I ask you to do is paint a realistic picture for yourself. So where you want to be to now, to the goal that you set, whether it's I want to turn over $1 million and you're on your way to that billionaire, you need to paint a realistic picture of what you're going to go through. Because for your mind, what you do is that you manage your expectations. You know what's about to happen. So when you fall, you don't feel like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? You fall and you know, right, I'm prepared. Let me get my emergency pack out. I'm in this situation. I know exactly what to do. Okay, that's where we want to get. It's not, if you don't and you get stuck in these pit holes, what happens? You're back in that failure cycle. And we went through that last week, but I'm going to touch on it this week again, just for those of you that weren't here to bring it together. So if we get into these little pitfalls, so you're on your own, whoop, drop, you get back up again, drop. And sometimes we keep getting stuck in these holes. Sometimes we walk on and we keep falling into it. But if you fall back into that failure cycle of procrastinating and just feeling like you're going to get stuck in them and not get out, you won't manage to get that even road of just going along and just being able to confront the pitfalls as they come along and deal with them there and then. You have to be realistic, because if you don't, you'll fall back into that failure cycle, which is what we talked about last week, where you get excited about something and then you avoid it because you're not quite sure how to start it. Then you make loads of excuses and then you blame someone. So a good ideology of that is around weight loss. Weight loss is absolute perfect example for this, especially in January. January comes, you get really excited, you think, you know, I'm going to get that bikini body of the year. Then February comes and you realize that you've not actually started the healthy eating or attending the gym, and you think to yourself, let me just wait till end of February's paycheck, I'll have more money, I can sign up for this, etc, etc. Then you start making excuses. You know, I just can't seem to get it done between working late, my boss stressing me out, the kids, my husband doesn't help out around the house enough, yada, yada, yada. The excuses come, the blame comes. And then what generally happens to most humans, you find something else to be excited about. And in business, what this looks like is half-built bridges. So you get excited about doing something, you think it's the way out, you've heard that reels are the latest thing. So you think, if I create a whole load of reels, that's how I'm going to get my audience to engage with me and I'm going to buy that way. You have no idea how to put reels together, so you avoid it. You're afraid of the technology. You then make excuses because someone said they'll show you how to use the technology, so you blame them. And then you think, oh, I've just watched this video on how really great automated webinars are, so I'm going to start a webinar. And then you get so excited all over again. And then you keep building these half-built bridges where you're never really finishing anything. You just keep going round in this failure cycle, because that feeling of excitement is the best ever. That's where possibility can be anything. And then once you go past that point, that's where all the self-doubt leaks in, because you've fallen into a pit hole. So how can we prevent this from happening? Okay, how do we avoid these pit holes? How do we get through this pattern? How do we break this pattern? Sorry. Drivers know this well. Think about Formula One, and they've got their flags. You don't proceed until the flag is dropped. You know, it would be crazy to do so. So on life's journey, just like on a racetrack, you're not just going to step out into the track unless you get the go ahead. Okay, so you need, on life's journey, you need to understand, like, what is your red flags in your own thoughts and words that warn you of the pitfall ahead. Okay, so just think about your own words and thoughts. Okay, and on that life journey, you can't use words like can't, hard, difficult. Okay, these words get brought up a lot, and they're blockers. But if these are red flags, understand that they're red flags and drop them. You have to tap into yourself to understand what are your red flags, because you don't want to proceed on your journey of life constantly running into red flags and just dip into the pitfall. That's when we just get really tired and it feels like someone's got their foot on our neck and you can't get up. You've got to find the power within you. Your future, your ambition, your billionaire mindset is down to nobody else other than you. So until you drop that flag, you would be like the crazy driver who ignores the flag man and just keeps proceeding, just keeps going through the red flags, getting angry. You calm down. Why me? And you're in this constant hamster wheel of emotion. Okay, but people persist in tackling tasks without that word or churning over in their head or coming from their mouth, and it can lead to pitfalls. Even though you're not saying it, the words can't, hard, difficult, they're all just flashing in your head. If these are red flags, how do you overcome them? And all your red flags are different. So I've tried to pick up on generic ones just to get you to understand what your red flags are. If you use the word can't, you're not going to do anything. If you use the word hard, you just put yourself off it. And you're thinking, oh, I don't want to do that. That looks really hard. Difficult. Oh my gosh, how am I going to go through this? Who wants that vibration when you're trying to tackle and get your life where you want to? Because it's just not going to bring you forward. So each pitfall on that road of life has its own flag. And this is what you need to figure out. Okay. So some of the red flags are avoidance behavior, you know, not speaking your mind, not being confrontational, can be a problem. Excuses, like I said, always making excuses of why something didn't happen. Blaming other people. I don't know if any of you have heard it. When you blame someone, you have three fingers pointing back to yourself. My dad always used to tell me that. Self-doubt. Self-doubt is a huge one. Is that your red flag of just feeling like, I went through this for years of, you know, people would ask me my rates or I do quotes, and I never forget one day someone said to me, "That's really low." That's my self-doubt. Pricing is a big thing in business. And this is what I mean about the billionaire mindset. We're going to go into this in a minute, of how it affects your business by not having the right mindset. And that definitely is one. That self-doubt, that self-pity can affect your pricing massively. Is that your red flag? Is it non-acceptance of your reality? When I was going bankrupt, with my first business, this is a true story. Like 2 days before, put my card into the cash point, it eats it. I've literally got 70p to my name. My flat got repossessed. I had to move back home. I kid you not. But I was not in acceptance of my reality, because had you seen me within that 48 hours before I had to, you know, tell everybody it's over, I don't have any offices anymore. I hadn't told anybody what was happening to me, because I wasn't accepting my reality. So you would see me and say, "How's business?" And I'd be like, "It's really good. We're on Choice FM. The Voice is covering us. We've got a book club going." At this time, I'm literally on the verge of being homeless and having absolutely no money, owing loads of money and not knowing what I want to do. Accept your reality. A lot of people do this who are on a low income. Have you noticed that a lot of people that might buy the latest iPhone or the latest technology or the big brands are generally people that don't actually have any disposable income? You have to accept your reality of where you are and figure out, okay, this is where I am and this is where I want to be, and start working towards that. But by understanding your red flags, it means that you're going to miss those potholes that will draw you down and keep you in the failure cycle. Exaggerated language. I'm always saying this to my children. Please don't whatever me. Like, what does that even mean? Who here also keeps hearing that expression? Well, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Oh, whatever, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Well, actually, no, you don't. These are red flags. These are exaggerated languages of a, "Oh, I don't care," when actually you do care. Makes sense? So try not to let exaggerated language, bad vibrations bring you down into those pitfalls that then make you fall back into the failure cycle, and you're not getting your mindset where you want it to be. Also, bearing grudges. Try to approach everything in life with love. It sounds silly, but my aunt once told me about 10 years ago, and we was talking about something, and she just said to me, "You need to ask yourself, Nat, what would Jesus say?" And I burst out laughing at the time. But it's that same thing, isn't it? Like that bearing grudges, that's not helping you get ahead. Somebody else's problem and feeling is not your problem. There's a brilliant book, by the way, on this called The Four Agreements. Princess, if you could put that in the chat, please do. I just read this book. It's brilliant. The Four Agreements. And if anybody else has got books, podcasts they listen to that might find helpful around the topic we're talking about, please do drop it into the chat. Sharing is caring. So each pitfall has its own flag. So understand, okay, what are your red flags? Now let's dive into the topic of money. Okay, so as a business owner, we think about money a lot. I think about money every day, whether it's, are we reaching our targets, looking at metrics and analytics, because we're in the digital age. I'm always looking at numbers, always looking at money, looking at our targets, have we reached them? And from the experience of being bankrupt and going through that, it's probably something for me. Everybody's got their thing in life. This is one of my red flags. If I can't afford it, I don't buy it. I know what it's like to have money. I also know what it's like to not have money. Okay, so as a business owner, you think about money a lot. You talk about money a lot. If only I had the money, I could invest in the business, it would be bigger. If only I had the money, we could just go on holiday and life would be so much easier. Okay, we worry about it. When we don't have enough of it, we worry about how we're going to survive. How will we pay gas, electricity? How will we get our kids whatever else they need? Okay, you plan for what you'll do when you have more of it. I want you to really think about your relationship with money. And there's a lot of blueprints that we have for money that will come from our parents and the environment we grow up in. Another great book is Mindset of a Millionaire. It's quite a simple book, but it really does get you to think about, oh wow, my mind. It gets you to understand a lot of the bad blueprints that were picked up as we were growing up. So that's another great book to check out as well. So as a business owner, if you think about money a lot, well, if you don't have a cash flow and you're not on top of the money, you thinking about money, all you're doing is bringing the fact, that's a red flag within itself. You're just bringing the fact that you're thinking about the money and the money that you haven't got. You need to be very in tune with your numbers as a business so you can start to feel connected to, okay, what do I need to make? What do we need to do? When you start having that connection with the numbers and the money of your business, you start thinking differently in strategy because now you're understanding what the KPI is. So this billionaire mindset goes a lot bigger than just mindset, even for your own business. Okay, when you are growing and you're setting targets, if you are more in tune with your numbers, you kind of get this feel more of like, right, if we have one customer who make this amount, we need 10, we're getting to break even. When you get to 4 customers, you're like, right, we got 4. What do we know about them? We've got to get more. You become more targeted. And this is why KPIs are so important. Okay. There's nothing wrong with talking about money a lot. Keep talking about it, but talk about it in a positive way and talk about the things that you want in life. It's not money you want. Think about what you want out of life. Money has no value to it. It's a metric that measures your success of business for all of you that are entrepreneurs. Stop worrying about it, because worrying about it is just going to bring about more worry. We've all read The Secret, most of us. So worrying just causes more worrying. I try to live my life of really saying to myself, fear is a sin. Okay, so we worry about money. We planned what to do with it when we have more of it. So start becoming more structured in your approach to money and understand, what do I need from life? Not what money do I need or how much do I need? What do I want from life? And then what you're going to do is take that and measure it with money like it's a metric. And now you understand what your target is. And now you're not feeling like money's superior. You're not feeling like money's only for a certain type of people. It's down to you to change that metric and make your business successful, because that's how your business is going to get measured. And you want to get more and more of that money because it means the success of your business is bigger. Don't let money control your mindset. Okay. Hear me when I say you will never run a successful business if you don't regularly review your financial situation, because you don't understand what you're working towards. And until you start getting your head around numbers and accepting and seeing the potential of what you can do, what your competitors do, what your marketplace do, and you actually believe it in your gut, I can build a business within that same sector that has that type of figures, and believe it and know that you deserve it, your financial situation will not necessarily change. So always regularly review it, because you keep this energy that I've got here. You keep this, right, this is where we're at. This is where I need to get to. And actually for online selling, that's what you need. And I'll tell you why. Successful online sellers understand the importance of data. Data is numbers. So when you're always looking at your business and you're looking at your financial situation and you're looking at where we are and where we need to go, it's giving you ideas, it's giving you a pathway of how do I get my business to be successful. Make sense? You're the ultimate decision maker for your business. You can and should be the driving force behind the financial decisions and outcomes of your business. Take that control. Be a leader. Be proud to be that. Again, it's not just about numbers mindset. For you to get to that type of figures and for you to be able to have a business one day that is valued, whether it's 1 million, 1 billion, you are going to have a team. You are also going to have to make sure that your team understands what your KPIs are and is also on top of the numbers, because everybody needs to be working towards the same thing. Okay. So I just want you to understand, when it comes to money, when it comes to cash flow, some of you might be familiar with this from the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, really understanding cash flow and really understanding what it is when you work for your money and what it is when your money works for you, and just understanding the different quadrants of the cash flow, and really understanding, where am I now and where do I want to be? And guys, you don't have to be the business owner. For some of you, that might not be your goal, and that's okay. Your goal might be that this is what I want to reach. I can do this as a freelancer, because you need more time to do other things. Start thinking about your goals. If you wasn't on last week's masterclass, please go back and watch it. You have to be able to set your goals. Before I go through the cash flow quadrant, because we are pretty much halfway through and we're going to be wrapping up, I'm just going to read some of the stuff in the chat. I can see love this miracle mornings on there. Brilliant. HSBC, hi, this is Joy, a digital marketing virtual assistant from Momba, Kenya. I love Africa. Great, you put your email in there for social media copy. Great to have you here. 4 agreements in there, brilliant. Oh, you're introducing yourself. Sorry, guys, I just want to check the chat because I do try my best to answer questions at the end, but also as I'm going through. This is brilliant. If you have any questions regarding to data, KPIs or analytics and forecasting, feel free to reach out to me. Gabriella, thank you. This is something that we've been working on a lot more as a team. And any of you in a position to really be able to have analytical data to study to make your businesses better, reach out to Gabriella. That's where you want to be looking at. It's the data. You've got to start getting more comfortable with numbers, ladies, in terms of being able to move towards where you want to be. And it's not just money. Data is worth a lot of money because it's going to give you telltale signs to get to that billionaire that you want to get to. Like I said, mindset is everything, and strategy is also mindset. So with that said, let's look at the cash flow quadrant. So you've got employee. You're an employee. You make your salary every month. Maybe some of you have got a side hustle, but you trade time for money. You know, seek security through fixed paycheck. There's no leverage. Then maybe some of you are self-employed or a small business owner. So you own a job, you trade time and skills for money. So you do it, it's a do-it-yourself mentality. Okay. Then we've got the investor. Okay. The investor, your money works for you. So you make money with money and you seek the highest return on investment. So this could be property, it could be stocks, it could be shares. My wealth was built from making money for business and then investing it. Then you've got the business owner. This is where you get to sleep and make money. You own a system. This is the maximum leverage. You use other people's time and money. Okay. So now you don't have to get up. You're just making money while sleeping. So a lot of people strive to get to that big business owner. But like I said, there's no golden rule. You've got to think about what you want and your own goals. I can't stress that enough. Oop, I've gone back. So money, to summarize it, don't burden yourself with too many figures. Instead, identify your key financial indicators, KFIs, and you've also got KPIs, which is what you work on with your marketing campaigns. Like, what are your goals? What are your objectives? What are the key performance indicators for you to be able to get to your goal? But you also want to be looking at the key financial indicators. Okay, and those key financial indicators, and get to understand these terms. How many times do we watch a Dragon's Den, and the amount of people that don't know this? Start getting in tune with the numbers because it helps your mindset so much. It conceptualizes that I'm like in a minus where I live foot to month and I need to be here. It gets you to start thinking strategically. How am I going to do that? What small steps can I get from where I am now to there in a particular time period using SMART goals? So are they specific? Are they measurable? Are they attainable? Are they realistic? Can they be done in that time? So when you're thinking about KFIs, I want you to think about what's your gross income? What's your cost of goods? What's your gross profit? What's your cash position? What's your assembling a team? We have a team, understanding like what they bring in, what do they do, what's the return on investment, is the roles that they work on monetized that then go back into their own salary. So assemble a team. To get to that status, you are going to have a team. Establish a reporting system that will give you the numbers that you need. Start getting in tune with the numbers. There's a great episode on Netflix actually. It is called, I'm going to tell you what it's called because I've got 2 screens here open. It's a really good show. It's simple, but it just gets the point across of really understanding how to get to a goal and really understanding how we spend our money and how we can be creating a lot more wealth by just thinking more strategically. I think it's Money Matters, but I don't think it is. I'm going to tell you. It's called Get Smart with Money. I will put the link in the chat. Yeah, Gabriella, it's Get Smart with Money. Yeah. It's a really great show. It really is. It just starts you to get to think differently. Okay. You know, even me, I'm that person in the supermarket. I'm like, hang on a minute, I just need to move some money out of my pot. I've got a pot for everything. I've got a pot for childcare, I've got a pot for holidays, I've got a pot for food, I've got a pot for absolutely everything. But it keeps me in tune of where I am now and where I want to be. And that mindset is what keeps me focused and makes me become more strategic. So do you see how important it is to have that billionaire mindset? And it's not just directly to do with money. Like, how do you develop this billionaire mindset? Well, I've got 6 simple steps for you. Focus on what you want. Think about what you want, guys. I really want you to take some time out this weekend and be really clear on what do you want. And it's a big question. And sometimes don't overthink it. Sometimes it's best just to answer things off the top of your head, believe it or not, and then take some time out, pause, and come back to it. Overthinking it often means 2 and 2 becomes 10. Become goal orientated. Start setting those goals out. Don't spend your money, invest it. This is how deep it is, guys. My children are 6, 8, and 9, and they love Roblox. So I've introduced a new rule into this house. For every £20 of Roblox that is spent, another £10, 50% of that will be invested into a Roblox stocks and shares. Because I know that if my kids invest in stocks and shares from now at the age that they're at, especially in Roblox, which is a tech company, by the time they're older, they should have recouped what I'm having to spend on their Roblox for them. Invest your money, guys. Okay, that's why that show's really good as well. And just start off with being organized. Also, a lot of underrepresented groups do not. So I save 10% of everything I earn. Everything I earn that comes in, I automatically take 10% out and put it into a pot. And someone taught me that. I still got saving pots, by the way, but I just always take 10% out. If you're not even taking anything out, make sure you start taking money out to invest. It doesn't matter how small that investment is. And again, the mindset. When you start to have an investment account attached to your bank account and you start investing with spare cash that you've got, you start to automatically think differently. Okay. Also, when you're spending money, think about until you're in the position that you want to be, think about what you're spending money on. Okay, like, do you need that? You know, sometimes people don't realize that if you start young enough and you understand compound interest and you understand money and you start doing little small steps, you could retire by the time that you're like 40, 45, starting at 18. And that's just one strategy. There's many different strategies. So try not to spend as much as your money and start to invest it. And think big. Don't listen to people that say, well, that's a bit unrealistic. Well, do you think that's really going to happen? That's just negative. Think big and believe in yourself and have that confidence that you can do it. And for you to do that, even for me to do it, know who you're talking to. I only have positivity in my environment that can feed into what I need for me to have this mindset. If you're not feeding into it, there's no place for you in my circle, because I'm going to fall into a pit hole. That's a red flag for me. I need to be around high vibration. Enjoy the attention. If you're making it, girl, self-love, self-care, and understand that you can reward yourself, or you can talk to other people to educate. Enjoy the attention. Don't shy away from it and think that, well, because you have money or you're making money, you can't speak about it because that wouldn't make you humble. I'm not asking you to go around showing your bank account balance to everyone and say, look at me, I made money. That's not what I'm saying. Just enjoy the attention, that you don't have to shy away from your mindset. Does that make any sense? Like, sometimes people will hear me talking to my children. I know they think that I'm absolutely crazy. That's what I mean by enjoy the attention. Enjoy that you know something new. You don't have to shy away from it. However, I'm not trying to tell you to tell people how much you make, show your bank balance or be a show off. That is not what I mean. We want to break some of the blueprints that we've been going through for our next generation. And the only way we're going to break that is to get them to understand that it's okay to talk about money and not think of it like a swear word, a dirty word, or an evil word that only rich people can use because they're the only ones that are wealthy. We need to break that narrative. And never stop learning. You've always got to be a learner. I class myself as a expert, but I was saying this the other day. Am I really? Because I'm always learning, and you are always learning. So what we're going to look at lastly as we come to an end of this workshop is just that how does this we've looked at already how the mindset and how numbers plugs into data, and how when you're connected more to the numbers, you start thinking differently, and actually it benefits your business because you start thinking more strategically. And one of the most important functions of a business, some people might say, I'm biased because I'm a digital marketer, but it is marketing. And I'll tell you why it's marketing and how that mindset of money flows into marketing. Marketing is the practice of promoting and selling products or services to people. So could we agree that in your startup, your growth years and your scale up years, marketing is a very, 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 very important part of your business model, because that is what's going to get you the customers and the profit in. And the thing is, the internet has changed the game. Okay, you can connect with people anywhere in the world. There are 5.6 million men and women based in the UK alone that would use Facebook, and that was January 2018. Okay, that figure is just growing and growing. 8 out of 10 people have smartphones and have used features in their phones such as map, satellite navigation, e-commerce, where they need to go online shopping. People are on the internet everywhere. So there was ever a time to build wealth through the internet, it's now. And I know some of you feel like, oh my God, it's so hard. 2003, guys, I built an online business. There was no Wix, there was no Canva, there was no Veed, there was no video editors that made things really simple. There were no subtitles. Hell, there were no videos. The entry barriers were so much more higher. You'd have to get a coder. The amount of things that I had to pay for to get that site up and running, it was a lot. The entry barriers have been removed. There's so much user-friendly software. Just get over the fear barrier of using it, because if you can use a smartphone, you can use a lot of these softwares to build out digital products. You know, you can build out a whole course. Of course, I'm a coach, but there's loads of different type of coaching. I've got a client that's really successful at dog coaching. There's just so many things you can do on the internet. Affiliate marketer, becoming a freelancer, getting more into digitalization, e-commerce business, and you can sell anywhere in the world. To understand and conceptualize the growth and how big that is, that falls in line with the billionaire mindset, because sometimes we can't see outside of our own local area or our own just part of the country that we live in, whether it's a particular part of even just London. We've got to start thinking bigger in all areas of life, not just money. Okay, it's billionaire everywhere. So you can discover a business in any place or anywhere. That is huge. You can buy anytime you need anything. You know, Amazon, Tesco's, eBay, Next. 87% of UK consumers have bought at least one product online in the last 12 months. So why shouldn't you be selling online? So to finish off, I just really want to recap. I want to recap from last week, and I want to recap what we've just gone through in understanding about numbers and embracing the bigness of numbers and embracing that mindset, embracing red flags and understanding how do I avoid those pitfalls. So we want to stay out of this failure cycle. Okay. Again, listen to last week's masterclass if you didn't, because it spoke all about this in detail. But I just want to recap and understand that inquiries. You don't want 1 or 2 inquiries. You want millions, and you want to work towards that. Even if you've only got 1 today, how many new customers do we need across a 5-year period to get you to the type of numbers, conversion, customers, the average spend that customer sends, how many times they repeat buy? How do you keep building on that to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, boom, billion profit? Okay, you got to start thinking bigger. You've got to start thinking bigger. You've got to start having that self-belief. It's not just the money, it's the metrics in general. And it starts off with not just feeling like, you know, it's my friends and family. This world is a huge place. Start looking at the population. Start looking at the size of your target audience. Start thinking realistically, how much of this audience do I solve a problem with that would buy from me? Start thinking, how many customers do I need, do I want? Start thinking, how much will they spend? Out of that money, how much is actual profit? Start thinking about the numbers and embracing them and really getting used to large amounts of numbers, money, and metric, because that's how things are measured. And stop having that attachment to this need of money. Okay, be a leader. And the reason why I actually even put this deck in, even if I was building this out last night, the reason why I've actually put this in is that if you can't be a leader and you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to be able to sell. Every business owner has to be able to sell. And if you've got an identity crisis and your mindset's not quite right and you don't have that self-belief in yourself and what you're doing, it makes selling very, very difficult. So be a leader. Lead the client from their position of dissatisfaction to a position of delight. Use your knowledge to do this and empower your team to be able to do the same thing. It's not just about the money. It's really important that you understand how to become a leader and how to manage. So as we come to an end, the customer journey, again, please check out the masterclasses on YouTube. When you're creating your customer journeys and in Women in Digital Business, that's what we teach. We are great at teaching you to customer map, like how to put a digital sales funnel together, how to do customer mapping, how to put customer value journey together, a customer journey. Just to let you know, ladies, they all mean the same thing. It's about you creating a very detailed plan of how you're going to get your prospect to be aware of you, how they're going to engage with you, how they're going to subscribe to you, how you're going to convert them into a sale, how you're going to get them really excited to keep buying from you again and 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 upsell till they're your brand ambassadors and they're advocating you, which is now giving content into your engagement and helping other people be made aware of you, and promotion, whether that's affiliate, where you are now selling your product to people that will promote it and they take a commission from what they sell. It's about the ability to think about this whole journey. But if you don't have that billionaire mindset, your mindset becomes limited when you're even planning this out. You're not looking at the bigger picture. You're not thinking sky's the limit. You're thinking, oh, can that work? But I need enough money to pay my bills. Maybe I need to stay at work. I'll do this as a sideline. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but think big. Okay, if you have that billionaire mindset, you have to understand what it is that you want and start coming up with strategies that realistically are going to get you to these big places. You want to turn your business goals into marketing goals. Okay, understand what you've got. First of all, you need to set your personal goals. Please go back and watch last week. Then to meet your personal goals, you need to set your business goals. Once you've got your business goals, you need to set a marketing campaign up and a customer journey that's going to enable you to get those goals. Okay, the goals features measures how well your sales outlet is filling your objective. So just understand about reporting as well. Again, I want you to think about these billionaire numbers for audience acquisition. You know, how did they find you? Where's your audience hanging out? Where's a large chunk of them? Their behavior, what are they doing? You know, conversations, what are they worth to me? Again, all of this you start to think about differently when your mindset has changed. You really start to understand, okay, what do I need to be better? What metric am I using to measure my audience? How much bigger do I need it to be? You know, acquisition, behavior, conversions. Start looking at these like metrics and think about how am I going to grow them. Okay, billionaire mindset applies to a lot of different things, and you have to be able to manage this. You have to have management systems. You have to have dependability. You have to have a team that can help you. You have to be able to repeat and duplicate things over and over again and measure them and change them and fix them, which helps more sales coming. You need to think about automation, innovation. We're in the digital world. How can I use technology to automate what I'm doing? That is less output, less staff, less cost going out. Okay, how do I have less require less expensive human resources? Many of us spend a lot of money on things that we don't need to, and it's not about the money. Does your business need it? You know, control, peace of mind, efficiency, effectiveness, safety and quality. These are all things that make great management, and that billionaire mindset creeps into all of them, because how big are you thinking? You don't want to think small. For you to get to where you want to be, you need to start thinking big in all areas of your business. It's not just the money. Okay, you know, so even in terms of management, your leadership, if your team's helping you get to the place you want to get to, you need to empower your team. You need to be able to manage them. You need to make sure that your operations are set up in your business to be able to deal with whatever metric or goal or target or KPI that you've set in that given situation. Okay, so whether it comes to leadership, people, marketing management, money management, lead generation, lead convergence, client fulfillment, start picking and thinking of numbers that usually you might be a bit scared of. You think, well, I don't think we'd get that many people. No, if your goal requires you to have 10,000 customers, how are you going to do it? How are you going to get there? Start thinking big, start thinking out the box. This is where creative thinking comes in. Understand the areas that you have to manage. Okay, so I like to call this the 3 M's. I know we started with the 5 M's. With management, you do money, marketing, and management. They're 3 things that are really important in terms of you setting up your online business and really enforcing that billionaire mindset on budgets, forecasts, cash flows, reporting, capital. You know, marketing, how many people you're targeting, how many people are coming in as leads, how many people are then converting over. What's the data analysis on that? You know, what's their psychometrics? Where's the traffic coming from? How long are they spending on the page? You know, how much traffic am I driving to this page? How much am I actually converting and collecting their details? Out of that, how much am I actually selling to? Get used to the numbers. Marketing is very scientific and creative. You know, management, understanding that it's not just you that has to have a billionaire mindset. The people in your customers do, the people on your team do. Okay, so it's a whole load of things that go together. So I want you to think about, okay, what are my colored sunglasses? We're going to wrap up now. We all wear a pair of personality colored sunglasses, and alter egos can work really well. So I want you to figure out, what color sunglasses are mine? What do I need to start changing? What sunglasses do I need to put on? We've all heard that expression, fake it till you make it. I don't want you to do that. But sometimes when it comes to changing your mindset, you've got to look towards the person you want to be and start putting those glasses on of the person you want to be, that by the time you know it, it's been incorporated into your own self and you don't have to wear those glasses anymore. That's the best analogy that I could think of. So get your glasses out. So one of the things that I want to look at next as we wrap up is, if you're feeling like this was a really good workshop, if you're feeling like, you know what, this is really great for my business, but you're still feeling like, you know what, I'm not sure where to start or where to begin on my business. I appreciate all this mindset stuff is really brilliant, or I need to be doing more in my business. But if you're feeling like you are unsure, or you don't know where to begin, you don't know what your business needs the most, you don't understand your audience, understanding your audience and getting to know them better than they know themselves is one of the key factors for your success. And some of you might be saying, well, I can't know someone better than they know themselves. That's the whole point. That's how well you have to know your audience in this digital age to really convert into sales. Or if you're feeling like you've tried everything on your own and absolutely nothing seems to work, or you're struggling to sustain and boost your monthly revenue, it's not where you quite want it to be, I really do suggest you come onto our Ultimate Online Business Bootcamp. It's a really great boot camp. Just so you know, before you're thinking, oh, here comes an upsell, it's not really an upsell. It's all more me asking you to empower yourselves and allowing you for me to help empower you. I'm going to do something I don't usually do, but I feel the need to do it. It's $27. It's a no-brainer price because you get an amazing amount of value, but you need to be able to invest in yourself, and it's not about the money. So the 3-day boot camp really looks at, are you targeting the right market? Okay, so it's identifying the right market and winning products and the perfect offer. Have you put together the perfect offer for your business that connects to your audience? So we're really going to take a deep dive into day one of understanding your audience, your marketplace, and matching your product to your different customer segments, so they feel like you're providing a real big need. You're solving a problem in their life. Okay, we're also going to look at how not to leave money on the table. How do you get more customers? How do you get to increase your transaction size and the frequency? Many business owners leave a lot of money on the table, especially when we're building out customer journeys where there's an opportunity to be able to upsell. And then day 3 is just looking at proven methods of building a profitable sales funnel from scratch, so you can actually see, okay, I get it. That's how it works, where you're actually showing case studies so you can see what it is that you need to do. But one of the biggest things that a lot of the businesses have in our community, the problems that they have, is actually not matching their customer to their product and service, or position it correctly where they feel like there's a clear need and it's going to increase sales. And this is what this workshop allows you to do. It allows you to really have a deeper understanding for your audience, that you can start putting content and social media strategies together that really connect and actually get more following and get engagement. You get to put content out that your audience feels connected to. So what you're going to get from this is huge. Plus, you're going to be looking at your market sector and looking at the competition and figuring out, what does my competition do better or worse? How can I do what they're doing but do it better than worse? What does the customer want? It's just taking a real deep dive of strategy to get the foundations right before you start moving on to mapping out that customer journey. Because if you don't get, the product offering right and understanding who your audience right and creating a brand around that, the customer journey doesn't work. Okay, so if you're in a stage where, and you might be trading already, many a times in my businesses have always made the greatest growth when I've gone back and looked at the foundation of what we're doing and looking at our brand, looking at the messaging, looking at who's our customer, looking at getting to know them better, looking at what they offer them and is that actually what they need, and then maybe reframing that to make it into something that is the winning product or service for the audience. Okay, so it's a great 3-day online course, and it values, when you do it, if you buy it, you will see what I mean. I might be charging you $27, but it's definitely not $27 in terms of value whatsoever. I'm not going to get into it and do the whole, well, we do this, you can see it on the screen, it totals this. But once you do the bootcamp, you will see that many people that offer something like this will be charging a lot more. This is just the basics. So anything in our community, we don't charge a lot for, because that was one of my problems. many of you might feel like you need funding or money for your business. Until you've got a strategy, I just wouldn't suggest that. You would get that money and it wouldn't even turn into what you need it to turn into. You've got to get the strategy part of things right. So if you're interested in a 3-day bootcamp, that's really going to help you build a foundation and establish exactly who you are, your brand, your business, understand who your customer is, understand who the product is and how you're going to package that, and actually understand how to maximize profit and understand what digital sales funnels that have done really well look like, this is definitely the program for you. Just scanning the copy of the QR screen on the code. There is also the link, and Princess will put the link in the chat. I have run slightly over, so I do apologise. We started a bit later today as we were waiting for people to come on, but I don't want to take too much more of your time, but I do want to know if you've got any questions. So I'm going to go to the chat, and also feel free to come off mute and ask any questions or give any feedback. Right, what have we got here? Gabriella, I got that. If you've got any questions regarding data, KPIs or analytics forecasting, feel free to reach out to me. Out of curiosity, Gabriella, what do you do? I think you offer an excellent service for many of the women in our community. Katrina, hi everyone. If you are an entrepreneur or small business and you are interested in building brands together, then our professional entrepreneurial community might be a perfect space for you. We help identify your brand, understand your sales funnel, and create opportunity and service level agreements so you can work in partnership to work in collaboration. Quite a long message. The details are there. So Katrina, thank you for letting us know what you do, and just be careful for those of you that have built brands already and actually built your business up. If you're going to revisit that sector, you've got to understand who your customer is. I cannot stress that enough. Without that, you could be building a brand for the wrong person. That's not your customer segment, meaning that it's going to be really hard to convert. Katrina, please do come off mute. You've got your hand up.
Hi, Natalia. Thank you so much for reading that out, and also just for a really great session. I think one of the things that really speaks volumes to me about what you're saying is, as the entrepreneur, as the leader, you are kind of feeling around in the dark, for want of a better phrase, in the sense of trying to make sure you're getting it right. So I love the idea of your boot camp, and definitely will be booking on, because even though you've got the idea, like you say, in your mind, it's got to translate into your reality in terms of everything. So you can help other people to do what they're doing, but you've got to be really clear on what you're doing yourself. So I love the idea of the boot camp and the clarity it'll bring.
I couldn't agree more. No problem in reading the message out. Just to be clear, this is a community where we help each other. So there's no, if anybody wants to promote themselves, even if it's similar to what we do, we're not here. Does that make sense? We're here to help each other as women. And I'm a big advocate for that. So it might be even in the future, you might even come and do something around branding. Does that make sense? Thank you for that feedback. But I can't stress that enough. I really want to build a community where we're known for women helping women. I feel like we get a lot of slack of the fact that, women don't support women can be like this, but no one ever reports on the positive change that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And please do connect with me, just Natalia Nicholson on LinkedIn if that's your platform. If your platform's Instagram, connect with Women in Digital Business, but connect with us on whatever platform you hang out on. I say, thanks, Natalia, brilliant session, useful nuggets, great. Rebecca said, I missed some of this. She's new here. Hey, Rebecca. But do you do in-person events? I do sometimes, actually. And as long as you are signed up to our community, and if you've registered for this event, that means you're now registered in our community. We sometimes do in-person events, so you'll find out about it. Usually in the summer, we do something called Female Hustlers, that's London-based. But we didn't do that this year. We've done these session of masterclasses instead. So make sure you sign up, and you will see where I'm live at sessions or I'm attending events. Thank you, Juice. I'm looking really forward to seeing you. And don't forget, Rebecca, you can this recording will be posted on YouTube by the end of tomorrow, and the other masterclasses are also on YouTube as well. Ladies, that was absolutely fantastic. You've really made my day. Happy Wednesday to you. I've actually got the children today, so this is the one thing that I am doing today because it's school holidays, and I couldn't have thought of a better way than to spend it with you, you guys. Thank you so much. Jessica, thank you. No problem, Rebecca, and I look forward to seeing some of you in the boot camp. Ladies, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. The LinkedIn profile's in the chat as well. Thank you, everybody. Take care.